Hey guys, Game Boy here. Welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't posted in a while, so to make things a bit easier for me, I'm going to be talking about what happened in the past week, once a week. Alright, so getting the sad stuff out of the way first. Unfortunately, Level 5 is shutting down all of their North American operations. And for those who aren't familiar with the series, they are behind games like Professor Layton, Yokai Watch, Inazuma 11. That's not to say another company can't localize the games that they make in Japan. Another sad story we have is the voice actor of Doraemon, Jose Tomita. He has unfortunately passed away at the age of 84. So yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his friends. This first story comes from the Alan Wake series. So there's this made-up band in the game called Old Gods of Asgard, and it's based off of a real-life band called The Poets of the Fall. Now, if you go to the Old Gods of Asgard Facebook page, and yes, they have a Facebook page, you can see that they have updated their profile pic, Alan Wake style, and a lot of people have been saying we might be getting a remake, whether it be a new game. Well, this next story we have comes from Among Us. This is a game that has been blowing up like crazy, and a YouTuber with over 1.6 million subscribers named Valkyrie has recently been blowing up because of this game, and she tweeted out this: "How my switch to streaming on YouTube started versus how it's going." And YouTube's head of gaming, Ryan Wyatt, quote tweeted this and said, "Let me tell you, Ray is the fastest growing live streamer in the entire world, and now the biggest female gaming streamer in the world. And I'm here to celebrate this. Keep it up, Ray." This next story comes from Animal Crossing New Horizons. I already shared this on Discord. To anyone who's friends with me on Discord, you probably already know this. Joe Biden has his own island in Animal Crossing. This was revealed on Kinda Funny Games' official Twitch account. Now, Greg Miller, who I'm assuming works for Kinda Funny Games, tweeted this out. He says, "Thanks for watching the Joe Biden reveal, everyone. Go visit in Animal Crossing." And then he shows his code. And then Kinda Funny tweeted this out. They said, "Greg and Gary are live and touring. Joe Biden's official Animal Crossing island." This next story I have for you comes from the Asphalt series. I'm not really big on racing games, but I kind of play them every now and then. And the Game Loft, the developers, they tweeted this out. They said, "Gear up for Asphalt Series 2020. Coming to Asphalt 9 Legends on the 19th of October. Race against the best players across the globe, claim your spot in the finals, and win big." Now, a lot of people have been making the theory that what does this mean for the future of the Asphalt series? Because this originated on the Nintendo DS. I think it's called Asphalt Urban GT, something like that. Unfortunately, a lot of people are starting to think that maybe this is the end of the series and that we're not getting another game. And then there are some people who think that we could get another game. But I don't know. I've only played a little bit of it, but I'm not really big on the series. So if you're a hardcore Asphalt player, let me know what you think. This next story comes from Atelier Ryza 2. So Koei Tecmo has now officially announced that they are not censoring the Western version, and they tweeted out this: "Message to fans. Despite the differences in Atelier Ryza 2 promotional videos recently shown at Tokyo Game Show, we want to assure fans that the game itself will not be censored in the West. We hope everyone is looking forward to the upcoming adventure." This next story comes from Baldur's Gate 3. This is pretty insane in my opinion, or at least I think it is because I've never played Baldur's Gate. So a Twitch streamer with over 3,000 followers named Professor Palmer beat the beta of this game in less than 7 minutes. I asked someone how long would it take for the average player to beat Baldur's Gate 3. They said about, I think he said 15 to 20 hours. And yeah, this person beat the game, or not the game, the beta, you know what I mean. She beat it in under 7 minutes. This next story we have comes from the Banjo-Kazooie series and the future of the series. So Kotaku interviewed Phil Spencer and they asked him about the future of the series, and this is what he had to say. He said, "I leave it up to Rare and the work that they do. They do like building new things, and they've seen success with Sea of Thieves. I think they're really excited about Everwild. Could the reaction of fans to Banjo and Kazooie and Smash persuade Microsoft to make another Banjo game? The revival of Spyro and Crash went pretty well after all. I think a fairly safe way to gauge demand for a new game would be a remaster of the original 2 games. Then, if the interest is there, perhaps we could see Banjo return in the new, no-expense-spared game he and Kazooie deserve." Also, just a quick side note, I am promoting another YouTuber's channel. His name is Echo. I'll leave a link to it. It will be the top link in the description, so definitely check it out. While he hasn't uploaded, he has been telling me in Discord that he is working on a new video so hopefully that video will be out soon. This next story we have comes from Bayonetta. Nothing really happened with the game, but she is getting a Nendoroid figure, and I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to go buy that and pre-order it. The next story we have comes from Bravely Default 2. So the official Bravely Default Twitter has been teasing some potential info for the next game. The official Twitter account tweeted out this. Obviously this is translated. They said, "Default 8th anniversary. If you think about it, it came far away. Mr. Ikushima drew. Bravely Default 2 information will be available soon, so please check it out." Not only that, but over on the Australian classification board, they rated the game and gave it an M rating. This next story we have comes from the game Bully. A Twitter user by the name of Yan2295 tweeted out this. He said, "If you remember the news from a few months ago, Ruffian Games was already working in collaboration with Rockstar on some projects and hired many new people for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they were working on remasters of some older Rockstar titles." And now people have been speculating that we could be getting a Bully remake or maybe a GTA San Andreas remake, because I remember a couple of videos ago I talked about Arcadia Squad, putting that game in, like, what if we were to get a remake of that game and they put that in the style, and unfortunately that video was taken down, so people have been making the theory that Rockstar potentially forced them to take it down, so maybe we're getting remasters on the way, yeah. So this next story we have comes from Dark Souls. So there has now been a fan-made sequel for this. It's been made by a bunch of modders, and one of them tweeted out this. "Finish a lot of the Azure Knight, Lance, custom enemies moveset, sounds, and visual effects. His AI is just random equal chance of each pattern right now, but I'll make him pick patterns more interestingly some other time. I'm tired." So this next story we have comes from Dead Island 2. So there have been some job listings that have been leaked over at Dambuster Studios. Those are the developers, and you can see that there is a total of 8 job listings there. This next story comes from Digimon Survive. This has unfortunately been delayed to 2021. The official Bandai Namco Games Twitter tweeted out this. "The Digimon Survive team would like to extend our thanks to fans from around the world for their support during development. Especially in these difficult times, we had originally planned to launch Digimon Survive in 2020, but current events have shifted our development timing and we have made the difficult decision to push Digimon Survive's launch to 2021. We thank you all for your continued patience as we work to create a fun and engaging tactical RPG game, along with a memorable story for Digimon fans. We will share some exciting updates for Digimon Survive in spring 2021, so please stay tuned for more information." This next story comes from Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. This game has recently hit a big milestone, and Bandai Namco tweeted out this. "Popular with everyone, the total worldwide shipment of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory has exceeded 1.5 million units. Thank you to everyone who is playing this game. Thank you for your continued support." This next story comes from Doom Eternal. This is pretty weird, but at the same time very awesome. A YouTuber with over 350,000 subscribers named Vaping with Twisted 420 posted this on Instagram, and it's literally Doom Eternal running on a Samsung fridge. And this next story we have comes from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. While we don't have an update on it, a YouTuber named Billy Crammer made a fan-made trailer. I'll leave a link to his channel in the video down below if you want to check that out. And this next story comes from the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Not the movie, the game series, and we're talking about this time. So Gamatsu tweeted out this. They said, "Looks like Maximum Games is doing a Five Nights at Freddy's core collection. It was just rated in Australia. I imagine it'll include these games, plus maybe Help Wanted. And if you look, you can see that it contains FNAF 1, 2, 3, 4, and Sister Location." This next story comes from Grand Theft Auto 5. So a YouTuber with nearly 1 million subscribers named DougDoug live streamed himself playing this on Twitch, and he let the chat take control of the game, and it was it was absolute mayhem. I will definitely leave a link to his channel in the video down below. This next story comes from Half-Life 2. While nothing really happened with the game, a YouTuber named Ivanfern97 put this game in Unreal Engine 4, and it looks pretty good. And while doing research for this, I actually got sidetracked and fell into a Half-Life 2 rabbit hole. This next story comes from the Kingdom Hearts series. So in an interview with Nintendo Dream, Tetsuya Nomura said this about bringing more Kingdom Hearts related games to the Switch, and this is what he had to say. He said, "I'm sure I'll be back in the not too distant future. Some people have been making the theory maybe Sora is finally getting into Smash, while some people have been saying that maybe we're getting another Kingdom Hearts game for the Switch. Like maybe we're getting Kingdom Hearts 2.5. This next story comes from, oh god, I just want to get this over with. I don't normally talk about games like this, but this comes from Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Die Twice. This game has been delayed to October 23rd. This next story, to get that out of my head, comes from Mass Effect. So we all know that there's this Mass Effect trilogy remake being rumored, and this comes from Gamatsu, and they recently discovered that the Game Rating and Administration Committee of Korea recently rated it. This has been getting a lot of ratings. There have been Switch listings for this game to be ported to the Switch, being listed and then just disappearing. Some people have been making the theory that maybe this isn't happening at all, but then some people are saying, like Jeff Grubb, saying that this isn't coming to the Switch and that's why the listing for it just disappears and reappears. This next story comes from Mortal Kombat 11. So a YouTuber with over 15,000 subscribers named The Thiny tweeted out this. This automatically proves how the Ultimate Edition isn't the final version of the game, else it would have contained the 6th DLC as well. I apologize if I've been a bit quick with these games to talk about. I just really wanted to talk about this because as someone who has played the game and I love it, I want to talk about this. I want to give my thoughts. This next story comes from the Ori series, or for those who don't know, Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Will of the Wisps, the sequel to Blind Forest. So in an interview with IGN, Moon Studios, the developers, said this about wanting to see Ori in Smash Brothers. They said, I think all of us at Moon would love to see Ori in Smash, and we think that Ori's moveset and fighting mechanics will be tons of fun. I honestly think it could be amazing, and you should tweet Phil Spencer about it. This next story comes from the Pokemon series. So a DeviantArt user named Spray-POKA tweeted out this. The original 3 final evolutions of the original 3 starter Pokemon would look in the style of Gundam, or Gundam, I'm not sure how to say that. And a lot of people seem to be really loving Blastoise. This next story comes from Prince of Persia Sands of Time. So a YouTuber with over 55,000 subscribers named Sanadsk, basically he put this game in an Unreal Engine 4 and just basically is what it would look like if we were to get a remake. This next story comes from the Shantae series. So in an interview with Silicon Era, the creator of Shantae, Matt Bozon, said this about seeing Shantae in Smash. He said, "We love the enthusiasm. It was incredible to have her included as a spirit, and I know that meant a lot to Shantae fans. If she ever becomes playable in Smash, it would be neat to see how hair whipping, dancing, or transformations could play a part in her moveset." This next story comes from the Shin Megami Tensei series. I don't normally talk about stuff like this, but this is getting some new merch. It has a shirt with the Demi-Fiend, or for those who aren't familiar with the Shin Megami Tensei series, the main protagonist of the series. There's also a poster of the entire series, I think. There's a Jack Frost pin and a Black Samurai pin, and I'll leave a link to the all of that if you want to check it out and buy it. This next story comes from The Sims 4, so there's a new expansion that's coming out, and it's called Snowy Escape. It's going to be releasing on November 13th, and it's going to be $39.99. This next story comes from the Sonic Adventure series. Take this with a massive grain of salt. So the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter tweeted out this. It said, mathematically speaking, Sonic is aesthetically pleasing. And if you look, you can see a 3 near, I think, Sonic's cheek. And that's very suspicious, right? A YouTuber with over 20,000 subs called Sam Procrastinates responded and said this. He said, mathematically speaking, Sonic Adventure 3 is now confirmed. Not only that, but the voice actor of Dr. Eggman, Mike Pollock, responded with this, and it's a song called 3 is a Magic Number, and it's from a really old show called Schoolhouse Rock. And now a lot of people have been really wanting a Sonic Adventure 3, and I've never played Sonic Adventure, if I have to be honest. I did play a bit of Sonic games back when I had my Wii, but never have I ever played a Sonic Adventure game. This next story comes from StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. So Blizzard has now announced that they are ending development on all of the expansions for this game, and they're going to start thinking about the future of the StarCraft series. Now, I don't think they canceled it, but I think they kind of put the StarCraft first-person shooter on hold, so maybe they could resume development on that. I really don't know. This next story comes from Super Mario Bros. 35. So people are now starting to see that you can actually play as Luigi in this game. A Twitter user by the name of Combotron Robot said this. He said, hold L when you start Imagine you can be a Luigi. L is real in SMB35. This next story we have comes from Super Mario Sunshine. So a YouTuber with over 700,000 subscribers named Shesez, I'm not sure how to say that. And he found a toad literally under the map. Apparently this toad in the beginning clips out and it's just under the map. And it's insane. Next story we have comes from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I apologize if you don't want to hear this. I'll put a time frame up for you to skip ahead. Where you can hear our final story about the 13th anniversary of Team Fortress 2. So a YouTuber with over 35,000 subscribers named Kibo posted a video of pretty much what characters who aren't in Smash, what their victory themes would be, and a lot of people seem to be loving Freddy Fazbear. Also, I can't talk about Smash Brothers and not talk about this. The director Masahiro Sakurai tweeted out this, and a lot of people have been thinking maybe this is a reference to Crash Bandicoot. And a Twitter user named Varmani said this, and he said, I think Sakurai's clock tweet has been solved, and this pretty much confirms Crash. Either that or this is a major coincidence. Also, now that Steve has been announced, some people have been going back to an old leak that predicted it said Joker, Erdrick, and we got Erdrick kind of right. It had Steve, and it also had Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, and Doom Guy from Doom, or as the leak says, Doom Marine. And I'm not sure if I believe it, because ever since the Grinch leak, I kind of take things a bit differently, so I'm more careful with what I believe. And now, final story coming from Smash Brothers, a Twitch streamer with over 55,000 followers named Dabuz, I'm not sure how to say that. He tweeted out this. He says, Week 1 impressions. Not gonna lie, a lot of my plus ones and evens are being optimistic. And now our final story coming from Team Fortress 2. Earlier this week was the 13th anniversary of the game, and a Twitter user by the name of Team Fortress 2 out of context, or TF2 out of context, he tweeted out this and said, On this day, a new game was born. New mercs were hired to fulfill each contract given to them. Happy 13th anniversary, Team Fortress 2. Esports reporter Rod Breslow said this. He said, Team Fortress 2 reached its highest player peak ever since 2012. With today's new major update from Valve, 13 years after its release. The TF2 community is very much still alive. A user named Stamos responded and said, Sadly, a lot of those are bots. You can see a good estimate of actual players on servers here, which shows there's about 25,000 real players currently on in-game servers. Well guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe. I'll try and upload one video a week. Sometimes I can't really bring myself, so yeah. Bye guys.